What is up guys, my name is Marcus and today I'm going to show you how you can easily remove any object from a photo in Photoshop. So I have this beautiful image here that I took off Google just to demonstrate how you can remove objects in Photoshop. And I think this is a beautiful picture, but there's one thing that annoys me, and it's this electronics box here to the left of the girl, and I would like to remove it. Now there's a very easy way to do it. You create a new layer, you go to the healing spot, or the spot healing tool, spot healing brush, that's what it's called. And in the new layer, you make sure you have the sample all layers clicked, and you just kind of draw the box like this and let Photoshop do its magic, and it tries its best to remove it. Now you can see it looks very funky, and you can do this with the cables as well. Now this is a very quick and easy way to remove it, and the result looks all right, but not perfect. You can see there's some stuff here that doesn't look right, and you can also see that the bricks here kind of fan off in weird directions, and it doesn't look natural. But it's a quick and easy way to do it. Now I'm going to show you a way to do it that probably yields better result. So I'm going to use the clone stamp tool. And where I will start is, I will start with the lines that go this way. So in order to do this, I will try to remove as much of the box as possible. And I will focus on these lines here first. Now, a good thing when you work on a project like this one and you have a fairly big thing and it feels like a big thing to remove is to just take it step by step. Focus on one little detail first, move from that one to the detail next to it, and just kind of work your way through the object. Okay, so the spot healing brush or the spot healing tool is great for removing small imperfections like spots in your scene. Like for example, these imperfections in the wall over here. You can see that the spot healing tool does a very good job at removing them and making it look like there was nothing there in the first place. The clone stamp tool, however, is more or less a copy and paste tool made simple. So you use the Alt key to select something in your photo, for example the girl's face, and then you can just drag the cursor over. You can see you get a little indicator where you can kind of see the outlines of the nose. And then if you just start drawing, you can see that the face will emerge. Now you can use this to merge different things together. For example, maybe I want her to have a shoe as a hat instead. I will select the shoe down here, and I'll bring it up to right over where her hat starts, and I'll just draw the shoe out. And all of a sudden, bam, she has a shoe as her hat. Okay, so I'm starting off by doing the line works, the horizontal lines. And I'm not being super picky about the quality or the details right now, because I'll work on that later. The point of this step is to kind of get the line works down and get the contrasting lines to look right, and get the angle of those looking that it's natural and fits into the scene. You can see that I'm grabbing the lines from the left of the handrail to kind of get the same angle. Now, if you don't have this in your scene, what you could do is just copy a line and then rotate it to fit the angle that you're going for, or the angle that you have to paste over. Okay, so now I've gone through most of the what I would call horizontal lines in the wall here in the back. You can see that I'm going back and forth a little bit and changing up as I go. But the general is that you want all of these to kind of go in the same direction as the wall. And if I zoom out, right now it just looks like there's some smudges, and I'm getting all of these lines quite cleanly through. Now, I want to show you one thing before I move on. I've gone over here and I've sort of ruined that straight line that I was talking about before. Now, there's a very easy way to go through, and that's to create a mask. Right here we have this clean line going from about over here to all the way up over here, and what I can easily do is to just mask out this area and just make it black like so in the mask, and all of a sudden I'm not over any lines. You can see that there's a little rough there. Maybe I'll go up and create a little bit of a blur, maybe like 2 or 3, just to kind of get it a little bit neater right there on the edge. And I can go back and fix this later on. And the same thing on the girl's shirt here. I can definitely fix this line later on. Now the next step I feel is to just kind of go over and fix the texture. You've seen I did a little bit here, just kind of check what color palette I have to work with from over here, because you can see that there's a little bit of a color difference between the two bricks. So in this scenario, you know, I'm checking on the lines of the staircase, I'm checking the lines on the girl's jacket, and then I'm checking the lines on the brick wall behind. I'm checking the horizontal lines first, and then I'm going for the vertical lines. I then move on to doing the texture work. And the texture work is a lot about finding a spot in your photo and then copying that over to cover up what you want to cover up. Try not to work with the opacity of the brush too much, because I find that usually takes away a lot of the detail, a lot of the small imperfections, a lot of the small like creases and grit that is in the texture naturally. Okay, so I'm at a point where I'm pretty happy with the texture work that I've done and the parallel lines that I've done. Now, the thing left to do to really sort of sell the effect that this has been completely removed is to add the vertical lines. Now, before I go into and add the vertical lines, I usually like to zoom out and really sort of look at all the details and look at the texture work that I've just done to make sure that there's no like smudges or imperfections and stuff that I wouldn't want to have in the scene. Now, I left one out down here. I fixed a little bit of it, but you can see that there's a little bit of a smudge here and it looks a little fuzzy, I would say is the correct term to use. So in order to fix this, maybe you want to start with this, start with doing the vertical lines and kind of see where you end up. That's one way to do it. Another way is to simply pick another texture that you can find on the scene, maybe down here that I haven't really used much, and just kind of start to paint over what we have already. So in this final step, I'm basically adding all the vertical lines, but I'm also trying to add as much detail as I can, and also to cover up any potential mistakes or imperfections from the previous stuff that you've done. All right, and there you have it. You can see the before and the after. And this is not just applicable to this scenario, it's also applicable to a whole variety of other scenarios. Basically every object comes with this, that there's something behind it and you have to sort of find that in the scene or in the photo around it and kind of copy and paste pieces of it to cover up this object. Now the principle is the same if you were to remove the cables up here, but I'll leave that for another video. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Marcus. If you liked the video, please leave it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like this one, please subscribe.